Laugh it up, fuzzball. Who the hell you think you're talking to? But I'll take it. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today let's take a look at the Amazon exclusive Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Chewbacca and C-3PO. I think this is the 5th time we've gotten this Chewbacca body, and 4th for C-3PO, if not more. I may be wrong, but it sure seems like a lot. But, and this is a huge but, just looking at it in the package, while Chewbacca has used the same body over and over, they've at least switched up the heads for the different movies. And then with C-3PO, they've made improvements, and here it looks like he comes with even more new stuff. So it's not as bad. I don't know about $50 price tag, but it doesn't seem as bad as it does on paper. Oh, Chewbacca, C-3PO, again. Okay. Looking at the package, it's your standard Black Series packaging. There's a lot of black. There's some Star Wars logo. There's the characters. There's the nice art, even though the head doesn't really match between Chewbacca's. But you see most of what you get here, except for Chewbacca's feet. Ooh, C-3PO's tray is loose. On the side, exclusive, so there's no number, but you get Chewbacca and C-3PO. On the back, you get a better look at that artwork, a bio for this point in history for Chewbacca and C-3PO. Down here's the warnings, accessories, or includes 2 figures, 7 accessories. They want you to know that all around the world. Same thing goes for the warnings, small parts. On the other side, Chewbacca and C-3PO, again, the Black Series standard of big font, Chewbacca, or Chewbacca. It took me a minute to figure out what that was. On the top, nothing. On the bottom, even more warnings, legalese, lots of different languages, barcode. But let's get this open and see what's going on here. Oh, and it looks like we got some instructions, along with even more warnings. You can never have too many warnings. Choking hazard, don't put them in your mouth. Okay, essentially you pull out these parts, you put in these parts, you put those parts into there, and then you put that on the back. I kind of like this for some reason. But why does C-3PO look like a goldfish? Or he's making kissy faces at me. In order to get Chewbacca to look out the window, they had to put his feet actually hanging out. Hey, where you think you're going? Come here, leg. God. No reason for that. Okay, let's look at Chewbacca first because C-3PO is a little bit more involved. Like I said, the body is reused from the previous Chewbaccas, but really when it comes down to it, it's a good representation of the character. You have a big, tall fur body, but we get the same paint job we've gotten several times before too, with the darkness just kind of right into lighter color. It kind of fades here, but you get down to the waist and it's just another speed bump just from light to dark. Bam. I understand the look they're going for, and it is kind of accurate, but seeing it in person, seeing it on plastic, is just, I don't know. Every time I see one of these, I want to repaint it. But the sculpt itself, it just conveys a fur look nicely. I mean, there's no getting around that part of it. I like the hanging down plastic parts to simulate hanging hair. It works really well without getting in the way of articulation for the most part. The original iteration of this figure is early in the line, so they were still working some things out. It doesn't go quite as far as it probably could. But again, it does its job well of replicating Chewbacca on your shelf. But what I'm liking is the new head sculpt from Empire. By that point, it wasn't as smooth or slicked back. It was kind of ruffled. He'd seen some shit, I guess. In fact, if you cover up the face, it's kind of Han Solo's hair. A little bit, just a little bit. But the face is what is selling me on this figure, especially the eyes. If you go back to the very first Chewbacca, they're there, but not really well done. Plus, he looks a little bit cross-eyed. The Force Awakens, it's getting a little bit better. It's a blue dot with a black dot. Solo just kind of gets a little bit scary with its beadiness. And for the record, these are not the same sculpts. Although I am getting a Teen Wolf vibe. And then for the redo of Chewbacca from the Disney set, it's gotten a little bit scarier even. This time around, they went for some details to the eyes. There's some extra lines. It's very well done. It fills up the eye space. It looks natural. Especially if you look at one at a time, because unfortunately, it's a little bit crooked. At some angles, it looks like the left eye is kind of drifting off, but I don't know, standing on the shelf and when I was looking at him in the package, a lot of angles, it looks like he's looking straight. Either way, as far as Black Series goes, this may be my favorite Chewbacca head. And switching over to C-3PO, maybe the same thing. They did something different from the first one. It was more of a painted thing. They did those white dots around the black, and it works. I get the effect they were going for, but it's not quite there. Here though, oh man, that's damn near perfect. It almost looks lit up. And when it comes to the color, unfortunately, I don't have the Walgreens version of this figure. I just have the Force Awakens, but I think it's pretty close to this color. Either way, the new version, it's kind of a deeper gold, and it may be because of the dirtiness or something added in, but I don't know. It's not dulled down. It still has the same sheen, but the color itself may be just a shade darker. Plus you have these new sculpted wire parts for both the arms and both the legs. Very nicely done. Lots of color, nicely painted. It matches the inside right here at his abdomen. I find myself liking this better than a full figure. The dirtiness here just adds a little bit more something to it. Even the back wire's done really well. Because C-3PO isn't a full figure until we get into accessories, we're going to go ahead and do that now. It's chaos! The arm parts pull out from under the shoulder pad, or the shoulder part, really. It's just a mushroom peg on the inside. But on the legs, it's not what I was expecting. It's actually just a cover for the leg piece. Pull them off, and it's fairly simple, but very effective. But to note, putting them back on, and if you push the leg back, it kind of pinches between the butt flap, so it's not going to just fall off under its own weight. So kind of brilliant. I love these. But then he comes with arms and legs to make him a full droid. Not too bad. These shoulder pieces are really heavy detents. And I like the new darker shade of the gold, having the arms and legs on there at the same time. Yeah, I do like this better than the original release. But on top of that, we also get the new articulation introduced with Forlom. And I think they put it on the Disney Store version, but I don't have that set yet. On the original release, there was only a hinge and swivel at the elbow, and then nothing until the wrist. It wasn't great. How about that? You still get the hinge and swivel at the shoulder, but you also get a bicep swivel now. And then they also put in elbows that go from about 90 to about 45. Not great, but even in the movie, C-3PO didn't have that much range of motion. I love the moving piston though. It slides up and down this trench right here. I have to say the hips are a little bit loose, and I have that problem with the Force Awakens C-3PO too. Going over articulation, there is a ball joint up at the top of the head, but because of how the head is sculpted down and around to make it feel more natural around the shoulders, you just don't get a lot of movement. A little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit of turn, a little bit of turn, even a little bit of tilt, just barely. You know what? I'll take it. Hinge and swivel at the shoulder comes up, swivels around, elbow hinges up to, well, almost 90, and that also swivels. Hinge at the wrist, swivel. Ball joint at the torso, and not bad at all. It's better than what you first think when you see it in the package. Ball joint at the hips. This is a softer piece, but it still kind of gets in the way. Not quite 90. I wonder if that could be cut further up, but then you'd start seeing pants and everything else. Good back though. I mean, better than hell 90% of the action figures I look at. Out, not that great. There's a swivel at the thigh, bandolier that keeps falling the hell off. Single knee is only going to get you about right there, but it does swivel. Then down at the foot, a lot of plastic hanging around here. Little hinge back, little hinge forward. Actually not bad rocker. For C-3PO, there is a hinge up at the top of the neck. I'm assuming there's a ball up in there. Can't look up, can't quite look down. Nope, the neck hole is just too tight, but it does swivel. The shoulder cap that you plug into rotates around. On the arm itself, there's a hinge that comes up to there. That also swivels inside the shoulder. Bicep swivel. Elbow goes from 45 to 90. Hinge at the wrist. Swivel. Ball joint at the torso. Good range. It's mostly back, but there is tilt. Hinge and swivel at the hip, but because of how this armor piece, or this robot piece, this robot skin coming up and around, as high as it comes up, it's going to run into stuff. So he gets about right here. Back. Surprising out. Surprising they can call that out. But it does nicely hide a swivel, so... But his knee does come back to there. Forward to there. That's more than any other action figure I've reviewed in the past 2 years. Hinge at the ankle goes, oh, nice back. Not bad forward. And then a lot of forward-facing pin for a lot of rocker action. For accessories, we already talked about these. These are awesome. Chewbacca also comes with a Stormtrooper blaster. It's what we're used to seeing. Nice touch with the silver right there, but otherwise it's just some black plastic in gun form. But unlike a lot of previous Chewbaccas, the hands are fairly soft. I may have to switch these out because the bowcaster is usually a pain in the ass to get in these. But it makes putting the Stormtrooper blaster in there a breeze. I said a breeze. Get in there, finger. It looks so small. And then there's this. I like it, but pretty much some netting with an elastic band sewed into the top. At first, it's very confusing on what the hell to do with this. The instructions are from the side, so it looks like, and I tried the first time to go over the head and under the right arm, but that doesn't work really well. That elastic band is just not long enough. Slide it over the neck and up under the fur. And that leaves the bag itself the freest, so you can put more stuff in there. Because of the hangy down fur and that this is full of holes, you're gonna catch stuff, so yeah, be careful of that. Oh man, those are way tighter once you get them in there. And guess what all that turns into once you put them on? That's right, many more snaggies. Okay, let's do this. That's much easier. Man, it hangs much better. Put some arm, put some leg. Actually, the more crap you stuff in here, the heavier it is, the better it lays on his back. Not bad at all. Turn around! And with Chewbacca being as big and heavy as he already is, and solid because of the big feet down here, the extra weight on the back doesn't really affect balance. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh. Yeah, that may be how he stands on the shelf. Although I like the colors of that C-3PO. I want a full C-3PO now, but I also want this C-3PO hanging on this Chewbacca's back. I also want to see if I can get another I'm going to end up with another set, ain't I? Damn it. Height-wise, Chewbacca stands at about 7.5 inches tall. If you look it up, he's listed at 7.5 foot tall. And then C-3PO is about 5 7/8, which, again, he's listed at 5'9", so pretty close. Lining up, I think this is all the Black Series Chewbaccas. It looks like the new one is actually a little bit shorter than both the original trilogy and the sequel, and about on par with Solo. Yeah, the fur right here hangs down further than these, so it's been shortened in the legs somewhere. Did I realize that with Solo, and it's been so long since I looked at that figure that I didn't remember it? I've always thought of these as a little bit big, so yeah, that's not bad, Hasbro. You snuck one in on me. Because here he is with the Black Series A New Hope Han and Empire Strikes Back Han. That looks great. And then the figure arts Solo and A New Hope Chewbacca too. Figure arts are shorter, but I like the colors a whole lot more. Ooh, that may be worth a repaint. And then here's the C-3PO with the Bandai Model Kit C-3PO, the Black Series Force Awakens C-3PO, the Figure Arts Original Trilogy C-3PO, and the Mafex Force Awakens C-3PO. The import's a little bit big, the model kit a little bit small, but did they add just a little bit of height to this one compared to the original version? Oh wait, did they change up the hips for the Disney Store version and then this is a reuse of that? Again, props to Hasbro. Just small little tweaks, but it ups the accuracy game tremendously. And then here he is with the Figure Arts R2-D2 and, again, the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Bespin Han. So at the end of the day, this set ended up kind of surprising me. Okay, that's not hard to do with Star Wars figures. You guys know I will buy any and all Star Wars figures and then go from there. Other lines, I'm able to look at it and go, nah, I'm okay with what I got. I can pass on that. When it comes to Star Wars, I'm buying all of it. But the cool thing about this, it's an actual upgrade to what came before. Hasbro's finding all these ways to kind of tweak this and tweak that without making tremendous changes, and it's just enough for me to go, oh wait, that Chewbacca's going on the shelf, and that one's moving down, and that C-3PO's coming around, and I'm going to need another one of those. I hate it, but at the same time, I love it. You know, I hate it because of the money part. Shh. Hopefully, this is the beginning of the avalanche of Empire Strikes Back product. Remember back at the first list review, I was just like, oh, well, another Chewbacca, another C-3PO. Let's see what's going to happen here. I'm happily surprised, though. The eyeballs on Chewbacca, yes, they may be a little bit crooked, but they're still the best painted on any of my action figures of this character. But that makes me want a second set because I want to try for a Chewbacca with straight eyes, but I also want to see C-3PO with the arms and legs on, so I can leave this one with the arms and legs off on Chewbacca's back on a different version of the shelf. It's just a spiral. You just, oh my god, I gotta buy more shit. I also forgot to mention the wash down here on the bandolier bag, so there's that too. I gotta have two now, right? Like I needed an excuse. So if you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe, or whatever the platform you're watching this allows. Much love to the Plus. Thank you for all your support. If you're in a position to help the channel, or you'd like to see all these videos earlier than they go up on any of the other outlets, join up on patreon.com. Don't forget that the Fwoosh is also on Vimeo, it's on Roku, it's on Amazon Fire. Wherever you may be, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh.